Uh, Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Friday, July 30th edition of StudentLoanJustice.org. My name is Alan Collins. We are StudentLoanJustice.org. We are the oldest, largest, and pretty much only true grassroots citizens group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. My name is Alan Collins. I'm the founder of StudentLoanJustice.org. We've been around for 16 years now, folks. For the first 16 years of our existence, we fought very moderately for the return of bankruptcy protections. Today, the lending system is catastrophically failed. We are fighting, yes, we continue to fight for the return of bankruptcy protections for student loans, but these loans need to be canceled at this point. And so those are the two things that we're fighting for. And I'm very happy to tell you I'm going to dive right into it. And by the way, if I can see your questions or comments, I will certainly respond to them if I can see them. And oh, there it is. I think I can see it. So, folks, first, the very good news. Arguably, this is perhaps the strongest week in the history of our organization. We're getting very close to victory, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to report that. This is a 100% volunteer group. So everybody on this group who has been doing the not necessarily hard, but it's not totally easy work. You know, the actual work that we need, that people have been doing, that we have done to get to where we are today. Thank you. I salute you. You are, I'm not going to say a hero. I think that's overused. We are the pioneers in this fight. And you should be very happy and proud that finally all of our hard work is paying dividends. To everybody else, you better start helping because this fight is reaching an apex right now as we speak. So the reason I say this is probably the strongest week in our history is that we now have Senate hearings happening on Tuesday. The Senate has not debated bankruptcy for student loans since 2012. So the Senate will be debating bankruptcy on this coming Tuesday. And I can't say more. There's more going on in the ether that I can't talk about. But suffice it to say, this is an historic thing for us. And I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. I stay away from hyperbole. So we're getting very close. Now, so what I will say is that right now, what's most important is that this bill is going to be, this topic is going to be debated by the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now, I've been saying for months and even years now, we have to push Republicans. This is a nonpartisan issue, but the politics don't lie, and the politics are that historically and even to this day, the resistance that we have faced with both bankruptcy and loan cancellation have been with Republicans. So the very good news, well, first of all, let me just say, this is the Senate Judiciary Committee, right? Democrats now have control of the Senate, which bodes well for us. But if you look at the members, the Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, they hail from states like South Carolina, Texas, Texas again, Missouri, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And then on the Democratic side, we see people from Georgia and a few other states. So of the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of the 9 members, Republican members, 5 of those members come from states where the people of those states, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee, where the people of those states owe more in student loan debt than the entire state budgets of those states. Like, I think on this list, I think Missouri is the worst among the Republicans. I think the numbers are that the The state budget of Missouri is $25 billion. The people of Missouri owe $35 billion in student loan debt. So, guys, we are looking very strong here. We're going to get bipartisan Republican support, Democrat and Republican support on the topic of returning bankruptcy protections to student loans. Now, I know a lot of you are out there are saying, okay, but I really don't want to file for bankruptcy, right? Like, I've got a house I don't want to lose. I've got a retirement I don't want to lose, stuff like that. I get that. Bankruptcy is not a pleasant process. However, and this is a very key point here, whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy is, frankly, it's not important. What is important is that the threat of bankruptcy is back on our side. The Founding Fathers called for bankruptcy rights, uniform bankruptcy laws, ahead of the power to declare war, ahead of the power to raise an army. That's how important bankruptcy is. And it exists for all other loans in this country, but for student loans, it has been uniquely stripped, essentially. So it's the threat of bankruptcy that is so important. When bankruptcy is returned to these loans, most people won't even have to file. Just the threat sitting there will be more than enough to compel the lending side to have to negotiate a fair and reasonable settlement. So that levels the whole entire playing field for everyone. Now, but probably what's more important about bankruptcy, folks, is that right now, of the 45.4 million federal student loan borrowers, certainly, somewhere around 37, 38, 39, maybe even 40 million of them, so like 80% of them, were never going to be able to repay their loans, even before the pandemic. So returning bankruptcy is exactly what is needed in order for any meaningful, keyword meaningful, loan cancellation to happen in the future. Now, it's even more important than that because, guys, we've been doing this for 16 years. And what happened in the past was that our opposition, and some people even calling themselves student borrower advocates, which is just nonsense, they went to great lengths to kill the push for bankruptcy rights. And they tried very hard and successfully to substitute bankruptcy with student loan cancellation programs. So in 2007, the student borrower advocates went out of their way to kill bankruptcy, and instead they go, no, we don't need bankruptcy because we've got these loan cancellation programs, this public service loan forgiveness, this income-based repayment. Well, what do we now know 13, 14 years later? Those loan cancellation programs are cruel jokes where nobody is getting their loans canceled. 98.6% of everyone is getting disqualified out of public service loan forgiveness. IBR, we have no idea because the first loans won't be canceled for quite a few years from now. But it's going to be about the same. These cancellation programs are cruel jokes. They're farces. They're feckless. They're fake. They are cruel jokes, and we are the punchline. In the absence of bankruptcy protections, this is what's going to happen. The Department of Education has no desire or intentions of canceling any loans. They have shown that time and time and time and time and time again over the years and decades. With bankruptcy protections back in place, all of a sudden, everything changes. With bankruptcy protections back in place, I think there will be a wave of filings. Well, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to say, with bankruptcy protections back in place, meaningful loan cancellation becomes not only possible, but probable. Without bankruptcy protections in place, sorry guys, it's just not going to happen. We've already seen, even from, the so-called good guys like Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, they're saying, hey, Mr. President, cancel up to $50,000 in loans. That could mean anything. That could mean nothing. And by the time that whole thing makes it through the Washington, D.C. sausage machine, if the Department of Education has anything to say about it, and they will have a lot to say about it, that $50,000 will mean nothing for almost everyone. Look at public service loan forgiveness. Look at IBR. Don't be an idiot. With the threat of bankruptcy protections back on the table, all of a sudden they go, okay, the game's over. We can't do this anymore. We got to be smart about this. Far better, do we really want to throw 20 plus million people, 30 million people into bankruptcy? 25 of our best and brightest citizens into bankruptcy for the crime of going to college? Yeah, all of a sudden, everything changes. So, and I know, guys, we're already, and this is a big concern of mine. We are, just like in 2007, and this also happened in 2012 or 13, we are seeing people who call themselves student loan advocates. They are already planting the seeds for that same trick that got played in 2007 to be played again. And I'm not even going to mention any names. We're seeing one so-called student loan advocate, activist, saying, she's trying to pit bankruptcy against loan cancellation. Like, it's got to be one or the other, and the two are fighting each other. And she's saying, no bankruptcy. Do cancellation first, then worry about bankruptcy. Guys, that is a trick. That is a trap. That is a non-starter. 16 years of learning the very hard way has taught us that bankruptcy has to come first. Otherwise, we're going to get what we already got, which is nothing. And more than that, guys, bankruptcy and loan cancellation are not competing for anything. The two are complementary. They go hand in hand. So anybody out there who's trying to cause a fake divide among the borrowers, like bankruptcy versus loan cancellation, those people are poison. And I don't know what their motivations might be, but I do know that if they are very honest, and if they are truly and well and truly and honestly fighting for student loan justice, for a solution to this problem, and if they look very intellectually honestly at this problem, like we have for many years, they will come to precisely the same conclusion that we came to. And remember also, even if we were, and by the way, this group here, we started the petition that ignited the public debate and all the discourse that we're seeing now about canceling student loans by executive order. We are fully on board. We are the pioneers of loan cancellation by executive order, which is what everybody's talking about, and it's the big topic of today. So you're not going to put us on the other side of that issue. That is ridiculous. But guys, bankruptcy has got to happen. It's the easiest thing to make happen, and it is a necessary precondition for meaningful, actual loan cancellation. So just remember that, guys. So we're in a very good spot. After this broadcast, I'm going to be posting literally, I think, 9 tweets that we sent out earlier today to all the Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. You need to retweet those tweets. I hate Twitter. I hate saying Twitter. I hate everything about Twitter. But Twitter is very useful right now for us. Of that, there just is no doubt. So love or hate Twitter, help us retweet these tweets. Call out members of the press, members of the media, news organizations, particularly news organizations local to those states. So for Josh Hawley of Missouri, call out the Kansas City Star and the Joplin Globe, 2 very important Missouri, I think, newspapers. You get the picture. Help with this. Act as though your student loans depend on it. Because, quite frankly, they do. They do depend on it. And I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true, guys. As far as I know, I've never lied. In all the years that we tell the truth. We don't adulterate stuff. We don't hyperbolize stuff. And I'm telling you that your student loans actually depend on this right now as we speak. Bankruptcy is a extremely critical thing. If you want loan cancellation, great. So do I. I think so does everybody. Loan cancellation will only happen when we get bankruptcy back. So what we're doing right now is just absolutely incredibly important. I'm not going to belabor that fact. Hey, I see a couple thank yous in the comments. Well, thank you, Jessica and Lisa, for saying that. But more than thanking me, I don't need any thanks. More than any thanks, I would like people to simply do the small daily actions that we are calling for almost every day. Like today, what I just said, tweeting. Very important that you sitting there don't wait, watch, and worry, and eat popcorn and cheerlead. We don't do that. We don't need that. What we need, and I know Lisa and Jessica are doing these things, so I'm not saying to you guys. We need people actually doing the work. We need people, we've got 20,000 people in this group. We've got 1 million people on our petition, change.org/cancel student loans. We need every single one of those people doing these daily actions. We have a small army, in fact, a pretty big army, actually, if you count the 1 million people on our petition, potentially. We've got a massive muscle to flex. We can get this done in the next week if everybody helps. So if everybody spends literally 15 minutes a day for the next, let's say, month, these loans will go away. It's that important. So I don't know what else I can tell you, but we need your help, and you got to help us if you're at all serious about getting these loans gone. So please do that. So I think I've said everything I really wanted to say tonight. I'm going to try and keep it short and simple. I've never been as optimistic and confident as I am right now here, this moment, speaking to you. This thing on Tuesday is going to be a big deal. I can't tell you everything that I know, but suffice it to say, it's going to be very important. It is very important. And what we do, what you do sitting there over the next month is going to tell the tale on this problem, guys. So I don't want, no pressure, but if you're sitting there on the couch and you haven't done anything actually, nothing much to help, then you need to change that whole deal, because we need your help. And it ain't gonna happen until you get off your ass. Nobody's gonna pull your weight for you. These are your loans. This is your life. This is your livelihood at stake here. Take it very effing seriously, if you would, please. When these loans are gone, you can forget all about this group. I will probably take this banner behind me and chuck it in the garbage can and move on with my life. That was always my plan. And here we are 16 years later, we're now right on the cusp. For any of you who've been with our group for any length of time, you will not doubt for a moment the veracity and the integrity with which I'm telling you these things. So make this next month count. No excuses. No excuses. So with that, I'll probably be doing live streams, maybe even on a daily basis. I certainly will be back on Monday. We're going to be doing daily updates, daily action requests from everyone from here on out. Get on board. Check back with our group. Check back on our petition updates, all that stuff on a daily basis. Look up and down on our group every day, and you will see every day there's something at the top that will say daily action. Do those actions. Don't be limited to those actions, though. We've got smart people on this group. A lot of people have very unique skills and talents and abilities and networks, and they're very creative. And you can come up with stuff that I'm not suggesting that you do that will move the ball in our favor. For example, getting this thing that we're doing with Republican senators on the Judiciary Committee on Twitter. What else can you do to get that Republican senator to sit up and take notice of what we're saying? Maybe a friend of the governor's. Maybe you want to call out friends and family of the governor. Maybe you want to call out some famous conservatives in those states. Surprise us. Let's just say surprise us. And When it pays dividends, let us know, and we will gladly put that up, run that up the flagpole, and we will brag on you for what you did. Right now, every individual in this group could be the person that writes the very smart email, that contacts the right reporter, that has the very perfect phone conversation. You could be the guy or girl who pushes that domino over that makes everything good. You could save the country right now. And okay, maybe that may be slightly hyperbolic, but guys, I mean, the stakes are very high, and this thing is just waiting to go our way. But we need that one person or 4 people, how many, whatever it ends up being. We need those individuals, you sitting there, out there, to make it happen. So I've gone on too long. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Get with it, help, and let's get this problem solved. Now is the time. So good luck, everybody. Godspeed. I'll be back on Monday, probably earlier. God bless.